Hi everyone, welcome back to part two of getting started with Coffee Agency and App SDK. I'm Aditi Gupta, a senior engineer on the Coffee Agency team.
My name's Cody Hartsook. I'm a software engineer as well.
So today we're going to be covering a bit of how to interact with Coffee Agency, what it looks like to run it, and how it integrates with the App SDK. Just a reminder, Coffee Agency is our reference application that's based on a fictitious coffee company. And the point of it is to exemplify how a multi-agentic system can be used for supply chain use cases and how you would go ahead and integrate with different agency components. It contains two demos. We've got Corto and Lungo. Corto is our shorter demo for those that are new to the agentic world, and Lungo is our ever-evolving demo with different agency integrations and multiple agentic architectures. So just going to walk you through a little bit of what our repository looks like. If you step into Corto, you'll be able to find the farm agent in the farm folder as an A2A server. And you'll be able to find the exchange agent, which is our supervisor agent, in its own folder as well as the land graph orchestrated A2A client. But to take you to the meat of our integrations, we're going to jump to Lungo, and I'll let Cody take over from here and walk you through it.
Sure. Thank you, Aditi. So firstly, the easiest way, the fastest way to run Lungo is with Docker Compose. And all we have to do is run Docker Compose up. So from within the Lungo subfolder, just write Docker Compose up. And this is going to bring up all of the agents and a bunch of other services for observability and identity. While that comes up, I will go over a little bit of the structure. So all of our agents are going to be within this agents folder here. And then this is split into kind of what the role of the agents are. So we have some MCP servers in here. We have our farms, which is our kind of auxiliary agents. And then we have the supervisors, which are more of the orchestration agents. Within the supervisors, we have two modes here, and these dictate the kind of communication patterns that we're trying to showcase. So auction is more of a hierarchy pattern where we have a kind of traditional supervisor that then is sending messages to downstream agents. Logistics is actually a agentic group chat. So they're all within one group and messages are seen to everyone. So if I go to the auction, this is similar to our Corto supervisor. It's going to be a LangGraph app, and it's going to have tools that enable us to call all of the downstream agents. The logistics, again, is another kind of supervisor type pattern, but is creating an open group chat pattern. Then we have all of our farms, Brazil, Colombia, and Vietnam. One thing to note, we do have a .env file that we would like to set. If I look at the example, some of the configuration to think about is what LLM provider you would like to use. So you can have OpenAI, for instance. You can also have Azure OpenAI. You can set that from here. Also, the OpenTelemetry endpoint. This is maybe if you're running it directly in Python, not in Docker Compose, and you want to set the URL of your OTel collector. And then we also have been able to set the message transport type. So this is NATS right now. You can set that to Slim. Slim is being used for our group chat communication. NATS is being used for the auction. And that's primary it in terms of configuration. Now let's switch over. I think all of our services should be up from Docker Compose. And the main application UI is going to be at port 3000. And this is where you can see very nicely the different communication patterns that we're looking at. So we have kind of a publish, subscribe, more hierarchy-based pattern using NATS. And then we also have a group communication with Slim. So if I go to the first one, I can say something like, what is the current inventory? This pop-up box has a lot of prompts that we have tested and just gives you suggestions on what types of capabilities the agent has. So in this request, it's going to broadcast out a request for what the inventory is for each of the farms and collect all the responses back. So we have a response of 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100 over 1 million pounds of coffee from Brazil, 15,000 from Vietnam, 4,000 from Colombia. So this is the, like I said, the main UI entry point for the application, but we also have a monitoring stack, observability stack, powered by Observe SDK from AGNTCY, that then goes to ClickHouse, and then we view that within Grafana. So if I go home, one of the ways that we visualize these is you go to data sources, and you can set up a ClickHouse data source. We have instructions in the Lungo README on how to do this. But once that is set up, I can go to Explore, select the ClickHouse as the data source, and then I can go to the metrics I want to look at, select OTel traces. I want to select traces, and I can run a query. And indeed, you can see we have a bunch of traces that have been fired off, and I can view the trace from this view and see all of the spans. And that is everything that you need to get started with Lungo. Now to transition to App SDK a little bit. So App SDK is an SDK that we have for agency that's looking at how can we build abstractions for the different agentic kind of pillars that we are looking at. So transport, semantics, directory. How can we build one unified factory interface that allows them to seamlessly interoperate together? To look at kind of where these are being used, where App SDK is being used, I can go to Agents. We'll go to Supervisor, Auction. This is just one of many places that we use it. And if I go to Tools, for instance, I can see here that we are creating a factory, and then we are creating a transport of a specific type. This environment variable can be set, as we previously showed, to nats or slim. And then we provide an endpoint. And then using this transport, we can now create a protocol client. So I'm requesting from the factory, can you create an 808 type client? And I'm going to pass in that transport. So give me a client of 808 over the given transport. So right here is an interoperability between a semantic layer protocol 808 and a pure transport layer protocol being, let's say, Slim or NATS. So that's just one example of how we use application SDK. So if we come over here, we can see kind of some of the highlights of App SDK and what we're trying to do. You can install it via pip and come down and see some of the ways in which we're using it. So creating MCP client over given transports, 808 client, and also how in the future we're going to use it to kind of instantiate a directory and identity providers. And we have a call out to our coffeeAGNTCY, of course. So this was it for getting started with coffeeAGNTCY and application SDK. Please come by, try it out, run the app, buy some coffee, and come back.